Under the blood-red sky, like the gates of hell thrown wide open, thunder rumbled non-stop, tearing through the space with fierce lightning bolts. A chilling battle cry echoed everywhere. "Kill him! Kill him! Kill him!" In a hidden corner, a Kwong was tightly bound, crouching on the ground, his eyes wild as they scanned the horrifying scene before him. His heart was in turmoil as he wondered how things had come to this and where exactly he was. Suddenly, an orc general with sharp fangs raised his sword high, his deep, commanding voice ringing out. "Next up is the execution of divine punishment. This shameless human dares to trespass on the sacred land of our beast clan, a land untouched by any for thousands of years. He is the first, and this is a declaration of war." Hearing this, the orcs below exploded into wild screams, cursing the shameless humans. They shouted in unison, "Divine punishment! Divine punishment! Divine punishment!" still tightly bound. A Kwong's heart was filled with fear and confusion. He bowed his head helplessly, thinking, could I really die so mysteriously in this other world? 5 hours earlier, at a run-down scrapyard, an uncle in a sanitation uniform approached a mobile cart and grunted, "A Kwong, haven't you finished eating yet? Hurry up!" He pulled back the tent flap next door and continued instructing. "When you enter the cave, stick close. If you're slow, you won't even pick up a scrap of metal." Today, 2 other cleanup teams are competing with us for this order. Ah Kwong, still focused on his noodles, startled and looked up. "Oh, even a level C cave has people fighting over it now." The uncle chuckled dryly, full of resignation. "Some die from drought, some die from floods. Even picking scrap now has thieves fighting over it who said we're heroes." While the 2 chatted, someone from outside the yard shouted loudly, "Hey, get ready, the heroes are coming." Hearing that, the uncle hurriedly stood up and left the tent, but turned back to remind A Kwong, "Pack up your stuff quickly." A Kwong hurriedly slurped the last of his noodles and called out, "Coming right away." The team quickly arrived at the cave entrance, where an older man in the group nervously said, "Even though it's just a low-level C cave, my heart races with fear when I get close. I can't even imagine how terrifying an A-level cave would be, let alone an S-level." Suddenly, voices from inside the cave grew clearer. "Strange, there are still a few ghost soldiers scattered inside. What's going on?" A figure stepped out. It was the hero group who had completed their mission. The chestnut-haired man spoke softly but confidently. "This is looking good. We'll easily get the League's reward." The red-haired girl smiled and replied, "That's true, isn't it?" The 2 walked calmly by, leaving admiring gazes from the cleanup crew. The uncle whispered to the older man, "Those heroes look so cool. I wish I had their powers. Their way of making money is so different from ours." The older man sighed realistically. "Are you still dreaming? We've all passed the awakening test, but none of us awakened any powers. Stop overthinking. Just do your job well, that's enough." The uncle nodded loudly, encouraging the team. Everyone's worked hard. Suddenly, someone from the cleanup team hesitantly spoke up. "Hey, may I ask?" Before she finished, the red-haired girl cut her off firmly. "Move in." Hearing that, the cleanup team began entering the cave. As for A Kwong, our main character, those heroes just mentioned had nothing to do with him. He and his teammates in dirty sanitation uniforms were just scavengers collecting scrap. After the heroes subdued the cave, A Kwong failed the awakening test due to his weak physique. Still deep down, he longed to become a hero. The team entered the cave and the leader shouted, "This terrain is desolate." Luckily, it's only level C, so the area isn't too large. "Let's get started, everyone. Move quickly. We only have 4 hours to collect scrap inside before it closes. Gather as fast as you can and regroup here." The group replied in unison, "Understood." Then they scattered to begin work. While diligently scavenging, A Kwong suddenly shouted excitedly, "Here, this is a broken piece of armor from a soldier." Seeing this, the uncle standing above clapped his hands excitedly and said, "Not bad for an old man. Just a little while in and you've already found something valuable. That's worth quite a bit. Looks like your parents in heaven are watching over you today," A Kwong responded enthusiastically. "That's right, Uncle. I'll go deeper to look for more." The uncle hurriedly warned, "Okay, but remember to keep track of the time. There's about 3.5 hours left before we have to regroup." A Kwong nodded and said as he walked away, "Okay, Uncle." Rest assured, he thought to himself excitedly, "Starting off this well, I'm sure I'll find even more valuable things the deeper I go. Just keep moving forward." 3.5 hours later, contrary to expectations, A Kwong dragged his tired steps, his face full of disappointment. He muttered to himself, "No way. Absolutely no way. How could I find nothing else? Yeah, since entering the cave, I only picked up that one piece of armor and still ended up empty-handed. It's really bad luck this time. From afar, a teammate's voice called out, "Hey, Kyong, time's up! Hurry back to regroup," he replied heavily. Yes, sir. I'm almost done here. Though unwilling, Kwang sat down muttering, "There's no more time. I have to try to pick up something else. This amount of money won't even cover one day of my sister's hospital bill." Suddenly, his eyes lit up when he looked to the side. "Oh, what's that?" A well Kwang approached, thinking, "In this damn place, if there's a well, it must be abandoned. There must be treasures inside," he imagined. "If I can find a full set of gear, my sister won't have to worry about hospital fees for a whole week." Looking down the well, he discovered a sparkling piece of jewelry. "Oh my God, a gold ring!" Kyong exclaimed in amazement without hesitation. He tied a rope and climbed down to the bottom of the well, telling himself, surely, these are the remains left in the cave. Even the heroes didn't discover this. He reassured himself, nothing surprising at all, holding the ring in his hand. Kwang was overjoyed and shouted, "This is a rare equipped ring. Oh my God, I'm rich now, ha ha ha, I'm rich now." This ring is a rare piece of gear, even if it only slightly boosts the hero's attributes. It can still be sold for a high price out there. That's wonderful. Instinctively, he put the ring on and thought, I'll wear it first, then ask Uncle what level of gear this is. Let's hurry back and regroup with everyone, haha. Parents in heaven are truly sacred. But soon the ring suddenly tightened around his finger, as if merging with his flesh, leaving Kwang stunned. Kwang screamed in pain with a hoarse voice. "It hurts so much, what's wrong with this ring?" Suddenly a deep voice echoed from nowhere. "The infinity ring has accepted its owner. It cannot be removed or transferred. The infinity pathway is about to open." Hearing that strange sound, Kwang panicked, looking around with his heart pounding. What is that sound? Someone. The ring, which was normal before, suddenly shone brightly. He was horrified and exclaimed, "What is this?" Before he could understand, Kwang was sucked in by an invisible force. He screamed in fear, "Uncle, save me!" Then his whole body disappeared, leaving only a few sparkling streaks behind. Outside, hearing unusual noises, the uncle quickly turned toward the sound, worried, calling out, "That's Kwang's voice. Where is he?" He was just in there. Someone on the team reassured, maybe he's just trying to find some more fragments somewhere else. Another person chimed in sympathetically. Kwang is a hard-working young man, just unfortunate that his stamina is weak, and he couldn't pass the hero test. It's okay, there's still time, just wait for him. On Kwang's side, after being sucked into the pathway, he gradually regained consciousness, his head spinning as if the world was upside down. When he opened his eyes, he was stunned to find himself tightly bound by orcs, dragged to a sacrificial altar with other prisoners about to face divine punishment. The so-called divine punishment turned out to be a terrifying sacrificial altar area where thunder continually struck, tearing the space apart with fierce lightning. Surely I have fallen into that mysterious well and somehow been brought to the orc sanctuary. Kwang thought anxiously as he sat on the majestic throne of the orc king. The king gave a loud order. The orc named Lu Dao, a burly warrior, immediately shouted aloud, "Fellow orcs, today we will execute the 3 most vicious insects." The first prisoner, though, from our tribe, secretly sold our terrain information to the shameless elves and inferior humans. On the way to the execution, the prisoner was cursed non-stop by the orcs, "Traitor, despicable scum." The crowd below screamed wildly, "Divine punishment, divine punishment, divine punishment." An orc soldier roared threateningly and knelt down by the king's order, pushing the prisoner into the divine punishment area. "Receive divine punishment." The fierce orc soldier kicked the prisoner, making him fall face first onto the altar. General Nan immediately raised his powerful voice. "O great sacred altar of our tribe, the thunderous hammer of the God King will crush all sins. In hundreds of years, no one has ever escaped this divine punishment area." Then thunder and lightning struck fiercely, tearing through the space. The orcs outside excitedly shouted, "Divine punishment! Divine punishment! Divine punishment!" After the prisoner suffered a painful death, Liu Dao stepped forward coldly and pointed to the next to receive divine punishment. "It is the shameless human who dared to trespass our beast tribe's sanctuary. For thousands of years, no human has set foot on this sacred land. He is the first, and this is a declaration of war. As soon as the words ended, the orcs below roared wildly, cursing the shameless humans who dared to break the pact and pushed him into the divine punishment zone. Back to Akwang, his small body was dragged roughly onto the altar. Panicked, he shouted, "Wait a moment. This is a misunderstanding, just a misunderstanding. Spare me, help me. This is just a misunderstanding. I accidentally came here. I can't die here. I'm not from this world. I don't belong here. My sister is still waiting for me to return. I beg you." But his pleas only made the orc soldier growl contemptuously, "Don't talk so much." He raised his fist and punched Akwang hard in the stomach. Akwang clutched his stomach in pain, silently helpless, thinking, "No, I can't. How could I die here? My sister is still waiting for me to come back. I can't die. I still want to try to become a hero." His mind was in chaos. Why is this happening? Before he could recover, Akwang was thrown straight into the divine punishment zone. The orcs below were agitated, screaming curses non-stop. "Humans are insects. The great orc tribe and shameless humans are mortal enemies. Die. Let divine punishment scatter his soul." The orc soldier pushed Akwang forcefully and roared, "Accept divine punishment." Tears streamed down Akwang's face as he shouted in despair, I can't die here." Using his remaining strength, he leaned his body aside and narrowly avoided the first lightning strike. The orcs below were stunned and shouted in unison, "Wow, he actually dodged it!" General Fang Nan's eyes widened in shock. This guy actually dodged divine punishment. No one has ever done that before. The orc king on the throne silently observed with a complex, unreadable expression. Akwang staggered to his feet and roared furiously, "How could I die here, you bastards?" But at that moment, a fierce lightning bolt struck him directly. He screamed in pain, "No way!" Lu Dao stood above, sneering, "Fool who said your divine punishment only has one strike." The orcs below became excited again, shouting in unison, "Divine punishment, divine punishment, divine punishment!" The beast-eared girl, who had been quietly watching the crowd, sighed in disappointment. It was all for nothing. Even exhausted, Akwang still clung to a faint hope. "I can't die here." When everything seemed lost, the infinity ring on his hand suddenly shone brightly. A voice echoed in his head, "You have activated the God system of the infinity ring. Recovery system bound. Begin reshaping body. Begin training for the strongest physique." The orc king, witnessing the scene, could not hide his astonishment. Akwang was still for a moment, then sprang up full of vitality. Lu Dao was stunned, stammering, He's still alive." Lightning struck again. His body shattered into pieces, but immediately regenerated, turning and standing firm. System notification body creation progress at 15%. The orcs stared in horror and whispered, "We're doomed." Every time lightning strikes, his body regenerates even stronger. He drags himself forward, progress increasing. Maximum body creation progress at 40%. The system is checking and recording the Heavenly Eye skill in a drowsy state. Akwang feels an invisible call urging him onward. He unconsciously steps toward the stairs ahead. The orcs realize his intention and shout, "He wants to escape!" Akwang drags himself forward. The burnt skin fragments on his body slowly crumble and fall off. System announces maximum body creation progress at 60%. Recorded skill Ba Lo Divine Consciousness. He records the absolute reproduction skill. The black fragments continue falling away, revealing an increasingly strong body. He moves forward. The system continues to announce maximum body creation progress at 80%. General Fang Nan trembles, voice trembling with fear. "Impossible. No one has ever come close to the Lord God King before. For tens of thousands of years, only the original God King could do it." The Orc King suddenly realizes Akwang's intention, eyes cold as ice. He dares to lift the Lord God King. Almost all the black fragments on Akwang's body crack open, revealing a muscular body full of vitality. He stands before the Lord God King, raises both hands and shouts, "Is it you? Are you summoning me? Why are you calling me?" He tightly grips the Lord God King. System announces maximum body creation progress at 100%. He records the skill attribute Child of Heaven. Akwang shouts loudly. All the black fragments shatter and scatter around. Countless lightning bolts strike fiercely, but his body is no longer affected. Under the astonished eyes of the orcs, the huge Lord God King gradually shrinks to fit in his hand. Akwang thinks silently, "Lord God King, if you called me, then let me use your power." The system echoes, "Congratulations, you have received the God Pointer." Reward experience points increased by 3 levels. Current God Pointer power output 0%. Insufficient power to activate special effects. Effects unclear. To unleash the full power of the God Pointer, continue to grow stronger. The beast-eared girl standing in the crowd, wide-eyed in amazement. Really, can he actually hold it up? Lu Dao watches from above, grinding his teeth, thinking, that lowly mortal returned the Lord God King to us. No, it cannot be. How can a lowly human touch the great God Pointer of the orc tribe? Even our great orc king cannot lift it. Then why can a human do it? And he mutters, according to orc prophecy, whoever lifts the Lord God King will become the future leader. There must be some mistake here. In front of a Kwong, a translucent info board appears with a mystical glow. Human a Kwong. Occupation unknown. Skills absolute reproduction. Ba Lo divine consciousness. Heavenly Eye level A. Weapon Lord God King. Combat strength unknown. He stands there still a bit confused, not fully understanding the power rising within him. A Kwong feels his body brimming with power vastly different from before. He looks at the info board in front of him and exclaims, my experience reward has already leveled up 3 times. Say. Studying the skill board intently, his expression turns thoughtful. This is the God-chosen system. Suddenly a figure dives down with a loud crash. It's Lu Dao. His fiery orange eyes roar, despicable human. Put down our tribe's Lord God King Warmace now. The orc crowd below buzzes loudly. That is Liu Nya, the greatest war general of the orc tribe. He will never let the lowly humans steal the Lord God King Warmace. General Zhang Nan reclaim the pride and glory of the orc tribe. Lu Dao shouts from above. Though I don't know what dirty tricks you use to bypass divine punishment and lift the Lord God King Warmace, I advise you to return it immediately and accept our tribe's punishment. At that moment, the system announcement echoes, passive skill Heavenly Eye has been activated. When focusing on any item or target, detailed information will display as data before you. No cooldown time. A Kwong thinks silently. The passive skill Heavenly Eye is truly amazing. He immediately directed his eyes at the fat orc in front of him. Sure enough, information appeared. Name Lu Dao. Title General Zhang Nan. Level 84. Profession Warrior. Race Orc. Weapon grade, a great sword. Tram Ma. Realizing the power of the Heavenly Eye, A Kung thought silently. This is the ability that comes with the chosen God system. It can see through the detailed information of the opponent. Seeing he still stood firm without flinching, Lu Dao got angry, gripping the great sword Tram Ma behind his back and roared, really? Looks like you're pretty brave, you lowly human. You dare challenge me? He raised his sword high, stopping just in front of A Kung, and said coldly, good, then I will give you a quick death. Sweat poured down like a shower. A Kung trembled but tried to keep calm and shouted, wait a minute, you misunderstood. His mind was in turmoil. Fighting a level 84 warrior, while I'm not even a fighter, if we fight for real, I will definitely die. But Lu Dao didn't bother to listen, raised the great sword Tram Ma and roared, stop talking nonsense! Watch this move. Seeing the blade rushing forward, A Kung quickly raised the Divine King, war mace to block, and yelled, wait a moment, let me explain first. Among the crowd, the beast ear girl worriedly thought, that stupid human. General Zhang Nan is one of the 5 strongest war generals under the Orc King with terrifying combat power. Just one of his moves is enough to slice a human in half. If you dare to block now, both sides will be under extreme tension. Lu Dao launched a sword charge, moved the blade cutting through the air as it rushed forward. A Kung gathered all his strength, braced himself, and raised the Divine King war mace straight to block. A loud bang echoed. He'd managed to deflect the strike, his footing steady without being pushed back, not believing his own eyes. A Kung thought silently, I actually blocked it, but my hand hurts so much the recoil of this war mace is terrifying. Even more shocked was Lu Dao, who widened his eyes and thought silently, he actually blocked my sword charge because of the overwhelming power of the Divine King war mace. But how can his body withstand that impact? Grumbling, Lu Dao roared with contempt, yeah, you should thank the supremacy of our war mace clan. But with the next move, you won't be so lucky. I will chop your head off. A Kung couldn't help but retort sharply. Hey, I told you this is a misunderstanding. Listen to me explain, I'm not from this world. But Lu Dao didn't care. Suddenly grabbed him and roared, what's there to explain? Up you go? Let me. Lu Dao prepared to throw A Kung into the air. He thought silently, I will throw this human insect into the sky and finish him off with earth-shattering dragon strike. But just as Akung was about to be thrown, the system suddenly announced, absolute reappearance skill activated. Usage use hands to sense the primal energy from the opponent's heart. Instantly able to copy one of the opponent's skills. No cooldown. Note only one copied skill can be retained. Copying a new skill will replace the previous one. Akung carefully thought, the copying skill is truly amazing. Without hesitation, he acted immediately, spun around, and murmured, sensing the opponent's heart. So I have to touch his chest right. Under the astonished gaze of General Jiangnan, Akung lunged down, piercing through Lu Dao's shirt. But unexpectedly, his hand touched a sensitive spot on his body. Akung fell while Lu Dao blushed awkwardly. While falling, Akung saw countless skills of Lu Dao appear before his eyes through the heavenly eye. He exclaimed in surprise, "Oh damn, is this real or fake? Which one should I choose?" But Lu Dao quickly overcame his embarrassment and turned furious. He swung the great sword Tram Ma, shouting madly, "Damn you, how dare you touch that spot of mine? How dare you insult me like that, you pervert, go die." Earth-shattering dragon strike in a life-or-death moment. Akung saw skill info appear. Earth-shattering dragon strike, 360 seconds cooldown warrior attack skill. Perfectly copyable. Currently no profession can't use weapons effectively. Specific effects unknown. He murmured, this skill can't be used right now, but Divine King Warmace has enhancement abilities. Then just take this. Without hesitation, he pressed select. System notification. You have copied the perfect earth-shattering dragon skill. Akuang jumped up into the air and unleashed earth-shattering dragon to counter. He roared loudly, I told you I can't die here! The orcs below were stunned. Lu Dao stammered in panic. You also know this move. Akung unleashed a thunderous earth-shattering strike, leaving everyone below with their mouths agape in amazement. The fog and dust gradually cleared to reveal Lu Dao dazedly muttering, I know no harm at all, moreover. I even feel quite comfortable. Next to Akung, as he landed, the system announced, because you are only level 3 and have no profession, your weapon cannot be used to its full potential. Skills cannot unleash damage. Please improve your strength. Realizing the situation, Akung forced a smile, awkwardly scratching his head. Seeing this, General Jiangnan went crazy, tightly gripping the great chopping sword on the ground, swinging it fiercely at Akung, shouting, You, wretched human, pretending to be tough. How dare you embarrass me? Suddenly a shadow flew down from the sky, speaking with authority. Stop. The orcs below stirred up the Orc King himself. That lowly human, the Orc King, will deal with him personally. But contrary to expectations, the Orc King did not attack Akung. Instead, he knelt before him. The orcs panicked and shouted in unison, Sir, he's kneeling. The Orc King slowly stood up. His deep gaze said, It seems you truly are the one chosen by the War Transmission Divine King. He patted Akung's shoulder warmly. Human, perhaps this is fate arranged by the heavens. In 1,000 years, only you have been recognized by the divine transmission. Then he turned to declare loudly, O tribesmen, no one has ever lifted the War Transmission Divine King's weapon all these years. Today, he has done it. He is the one recognized by the divine transmission as the future leader. To lead our orc tribe, let us wait and see. The orcs began to chatter excitedly. It's exactly the ancient prophecy, whoever lifts the War Transmission Divine King's weapon is chosen as future leader. But he's human, not an orc. Hearing this, Lu Dao couldn't hold back his frustration and shouted, Great King, I don't question your decision, but how can he be human? The Orc King interrupted quietly but sharply. So what if he's human? Does the prophecy say only orcs can be chosen? Even I, a mighty Orc King, couldn't lift the war transmission. Are we going to give up this rare hope? General Jiangnan realized he had been rude and quickly clasped his hands, lowering his voice. Subordinate. Subordinate dares not. The prophecy is not clear, but he still isn't one of our orc tribe. The Orc King did not respond, only turning to Akung with a serious look. Young man, what is your name? He answered straightforwardly, my name is Akung. The Orc King nodded with a steady voice, Good Akung. If you agree to bear the hopes of the orc tribe, I will spare you. But right now you are too weak. Within 1 year you must train yourself and return here. Then I will test to see if you are worthy to be our tribe's leader. If you do not return after 1 year, this spiritual seal of mine will guide, and the entire orc tribe will hunt you down to the ends of the earth. This is also how I explain to my people. Do you accept? After speaking, he placed his hand on Akung's forehead, transmitting the spiritual seal. Akung stammered, still hesitant. Suddenly, a voice rang out from below. Quickly agree. It was the beast ear girl from earlier. She continued to urge, firmly regain your freedom and become stronger. Akung turned to look at her, thinking at first she was also brought up to the altar to endure divine punishment like me. Let's see. He activated Heavenly Eye and the information appeared. Name unknown. Title unknown, level 72. Orc warrior profession weapon. No sword. He muttered in shock. Weight level 72. She's a level 72 female warrior. Did I see that right? So strong yet punished by the heavens. He raised his hand toward her loudly. Thank you. The beast ear girl's words awakened him. The miracle heaven granted her. Actually, everything is a miracle. Why hesitate anymore? The first thing is to survive, then find a way back to my world. After thinking, Akung nodded resolutely. All right, I agree. I will stay here to train for 1 year, then return. You can test me, but I have one request. One. The Orc King frowned curiously. What is your request? Akuong pointed directly at the beast ear girl firmly. I want to take her with me. She will be my assistant. Hearing this, the beast ear girl was stunned and stammered, Me. Akuong thought to himself this was a thank you because she reminded him. After a while, he and the girl left the altar and stepped outside, leaning against the cold stone wall. Akuong fell into thought. Everything started when I put on the infinite ring. The voice in my head clearly said this ring cannot be removed. Moreover, it granted me miraculous power. But how do I return to the old world? What exactly is happening in this other world? I was lost in thought when a sweet voice sounded, I am ready, master. It turned out to be the beast ear girl who had now changed into a neat new outfit and was ready. Akuong was startled and turned around awkwardly. Ah, master sees you confused. She smiled and explained, That's right, master. You saved my life. This life now belongs to you. I am willing to risk myself for you. May I ask if we can depart now? Akuong shyly turned to a corner thinking, Oh my God, so cute she even calls me master. I can't take it. He regained composure and seriously said, Not exactly. If it weren't for your reminder, I probably would still hesitate, confused about what to do when going outside. Then we should help each other. The beast ear girl blushed, holding his hand sincerely. Master. What? No need to be so formal, she continued with sparkling eyes. Master doesn't understand what this day means to me. You gave me a second chance at survival from childhood until now. Only you have stood up to protect me. Only you have looked at me and said thank you. Please allow me to call you master. That is my humble request. Your appearance is a miracle in my life. I am willing to dedicate everything to you, master. Her sincere words and actions made Akuong ecstatic, almost nose-bleeding. He forced a smile and replied, Then this affection is up to you. The beast ear girl smiled gently. All right, master, let's set off. It's late already. As she walked, she carefully reminded him, Please watch your step. He looked up at the bright moonlight, sighed. Phew, truly another world both gentle and beautiful. But he immediately bowed his head, pulling himself out of the daydream. No, my little sister is still waiting at home. What am I thinking? What's up? Suddenly the system rang out. The infinite ring is ready to activate the infinite portal. Cool down, time 24 hours. Akuong was startled and mumbled, Right, this is the infinite portal that brought me to this other world. Could I activate it to return? Without hesitation, he ordered to try activating the portal. The ring immediately blazed with a power that sucked him in. Akuong was thrilled, thinking, It really appeared I can go back. I can go back now. Seeing him stand still, the beast ear girl anxiously asked, Master, why aren't you going yet? But she didn't know Akuong had already vanished into the gate. Inside the swirling space, his body was distorted unpleasantly, like the first time. The feeling was still as bad as before. Finally, he returned to the original world at the bottom of the old well, looking around and breathing a sigh of relief. I'm back. Without delay, Akuong activated his divine eye skill. An info panel appeared before his eyes, shouting, Still here. These miraculous powers remain great. The panel showed level 3. No profession, no current weapon, no copying skill, 3 spirit holes. He murmured, level 3 in the real world is enough to live on. But what about the War God King? And the system immediately notified, your personal data is compatible between the 2 worlds, but equipment cannot be shared. Only items placed in the 3 spirit holes can be carried and used in the real world. Hearing this, A Kuong murmured, so that's it. In other words, levels in both worlds are equivalent. I can level up anywhere but the War God King weapon was automatically placed in the 3 spirit holes, so it was brought back to the real world as well. Is that what it means? He suddenly thought, wait, I have already reached level 3. Could it be? As he was speaking, a familiar voice rang from the well mouth. A Kuong! What the heck are you doing down there? This cave is about to close, hurry up and get out. Hearing his uncle's voice, A Kuong was startled and quickly shouted back, Uncle, is everyone still here? Haven't I been gone for a long time already? He thought, what is going on here? I was in the other world for at least 5 or 6 hours, so why are they still waiting for me as if nothing happened? His uncle replied with a faint laugh. What are you talking about? Have you gone daft from picking up too much trash? Seeing you go down the well, we got worried and came to check. Let's go up. Another person in the group interrupted. What are you dazed about? Hurry out of the cave. If the cave door closes, we'll be trapped here forever. Gripping the rope tightly, A Kuong climbed up silently, thinking, time has stopped. Got it when I traveled to the other world, time here stopped. Only when I return will time continue to flow. How defiant of fate. In this other world, time is also frozen. Just how powerful is the original owner of this infinity ring coming out of the well mouth? A Kuong hurriedly asked his uncle, I want to ask you something. Surprised. Oh, what's the matter? He continued, I remember tomorrow is the new law for the hero test, right? The scene suddenly changed, rain poured down like a waterfall. A Kuong carried his sister, Tiu Ham, on his back, his legs badly wounded, staggering through the rubble with dark demons destroying everything ahead. That Tiu Ham whispered weakly on his back, Brother, my legs, I can't feel them anymore. What about Mom and Dad? Hearing Tiu Ham's words, A Kuong froze, looked up, his voice trembling in pain. No, Mom and Dad. The dark demons were closing in on the 2 siblings, but he stood helpless, screaming in despair. Suddenly, a strong arm grabbed his shoulder. A hurried voice shouted, A Kuong, do you want to die? Follow your uncle, that's Uncle Lai. A Kuong's mind was in chaos. He shouted, Uncle Lai, my parents, Uncle, urgently persuading, can you save them? If you stand here, both you and Tiu Ham will die at the hands of the dark demons. At least think about your little sister. A Kuong shouted in agony. My parents are still inside the house. Your parents won't make it. The demons are right there. But Uncle Lai ignored his despair and pulled the 2 of them to run. Worriedly said, Tiu Ham's legs, hurry up. The scene shifted to the hospital. Tiu Ham lay weakly on the bed, asking him, You said tomorrow is the hero test, right? But I'm afraid you'll overexert yourself. The nurse standing beside her smiled gently. Tiu Ham really cares about her brother. Turning to A Kuong, she said, You should also rest well. He reassured her, It's okay, I'm not tired. How about your legs? The nurse who just gave Tiu Ham an injection explained, Nerve damage sequelae cause intermittent spasmodic pain. Tiu Ham needs to get injections and take medicine on time. But despite the pain from the injection, Tiu Ham forced a smile. It's nothing. But she couldn't hold back, grimacing. She quickly added, I've done it, but it still hurts, but I'm used to it. Don't worry, brother. A Kuong lowered his head with a sad expression, thinking, She means she can't stand up anymore, right? Tiu Ham is in a lot of pain, isn't she? A Kuong silently activated his heavenly eye. Information appeared on the target's body, both legs crushed by a rock, causing 98% paralysis, nerve necrosis, intermittent pain, no hope of self-recovery, a 1% chance to stand up. After reading, he fell into deep thought. On the way home from the hospital, he thought about his sister, Tiu Ham. She must be very sad. She just wants to be like before, to go to school like a normal girl, play with friends, freely, walk anywhere. The radiant face she once had, now she's the only family I have left. How can I let her endure this forever? He clenched his fists, resolute even though the chance to stand up was only 1%. There's still hope it's not hopeless. There must be a way. If I become a hero, I can access more information to find a way to help Tu Ham not just stand up, but live with her head held high. Stopping at a street corner, a Kyong raised his hand toward the moon, his eyes burning with determination. I have to become a hero and the strongest one. At the official test arena of BTG Bravo Test Group, the examiner announced, "Congratulations on the final test result, Level 3 Hero Combat Power 540. Congratulations on becoming a hero. This is your automatic certification based on your ranking. Please accept it." The congratulated person was a young man with a bright smile. "Old man, from now on, I'm a hero too." His mother stood proudly beside him and praised, "No wonder you're my son, very good, keep it up. You must be a C-rank hero, son." After the mother and son left, another staff member called the next person to check if it was a Kwong. "This is your second time taking the test. The first time your score was below the minimum basic level, so you didn't qualify." Hearing a Kwong's words, the staff with glasses sneered, "You're wasting my time before I get off work to eat. Get ready and go in. Just put your hand on the scanner, then come out." Passing through the door, a Kwong replied irritably, "Whether it's a waste of time or not, I'll find out soon." The staff snorted mockingly, "Old man Huin Huang or whatever, if you fail the first time, no matter how many times you try, it's the same. The test is based on the most scientific assessment of overall physical fitness." When the door closed, the guy muttered, "This idiot, I've met many people who test repeatedly." Inside, the lights automatically turned on. A Kyong walked with determined steps, a hero of the same power level deciding his potential. The guy just now was also level 3 with a combat power of 540, a normal level. "I've reached level 3, definitely qualified to become a hero, but my combat power hasn't been tested yet. A bit worried." He placed his hand on the machine silently, thinking, "Be honest. Activate the strongest body." Suddenly, the light shifted from black to bright red. The entire room shook violently. The machine announced, "During the hero value test, please do not move." 4 staff outside panicked. Is this an earthquake?" The shaking stopped. The scanner screen showed the test ended with level 3 combat power of 5400. Your combat power set the highest record among level 3 heroes, far surpassing the second place at 930. This record has never been broken in 30 years. Looking at the result, a Kwong was stunned. 5400 is 10 times the guy. Just now I knew my current body was strong, but didn't expect it to be this strong. He excitedly thought, "Anyway, as predicted, my goal is to become the strongest." A Kyong muttered, his eyes flashing with curiosity. "Wait, I really want to know the power that the War God King hides." The system immediately announced, "Due to your level and conditions not meeting requirements, you cannot legitimately use the War God King. Forcing activation will consume a lot of energy and stamina. Activation time is 1 second. Looking at the War God finger appearing in his hand, he sighed in frustration. 1 second, my current power only lasts the hammer for 1 second. But if I try, the machine is 1 second enough for a preliminary measurement. If I activate the War Finger, how much will my combat power increase?" Despite the worry, a Kwong couldn't contain his curiosity. He placed his hand on the test machine and thought, 1 second is 1 second, it should be fine, let's try. He ordered to activate the War Hammer. The system announced, "You have activated the War God Hammer, duration 1 second. As the hammer activated, a Kwong tensed, feeling as if all his vitality was being drained. He panicked, thinking, "Oh no, it's draining my energy and vitality immediately." The War Hammer continued to draw power, causing him to tremble, shouting, "Check quickly to see how much the combat power increased." Suddenly, brilliant purple lights flashed in the sky. The ground shook violently. People outside witnessed and panicked, shouting, "Oh my God, what's happening?" Earthquake. The test machine couldn't handle it and sputtered errors. Energy overload, cannot test. The aftershock was so strong it caused a citywide blackout. The bespectacled staff rushed into the room in panic. "Hey, the earthquake caused a power outage. No need to test anymore. Get outside quickly." Looking in, he was stunned to see a Kwong like a walking dried corpse, stammering, "Oh my God, who is this guy?" On the way out, a Kwong dragged his feet deep in thought. "I have too much power, didn't expect the war god to be so terrifying. Just 1 second and I'm completely drained. Looks like before I'm strong enough, it's best not to touch it." At the test hall, an older man with silver hair stepped up, his voice authoritative. "I am the hero leading you level 9's combat power 1-200. Just call me Teacher Kai A. My requirements are very strict. I hope you all cooperate." A Kwong quietly activated his celestial eye to observe the silver-haired man. Information appeared: name Kai, a level 9 warrior, profession combat power 1-200. After Kai A finished introducing the students, below shouted in unison, "Hello, Teacher Kai A." A Kwong stood at the back, thinking level 9, but combat power only 1-200. "I'm level 3 and already at 5-400. If I reach level 9, how terrifying will my combat power be?" Meanwhile, Kai A muttered with a displeased look, "What a nuisance. They gave me this intern teacher task again. Not only is the honor point meager, the Alliance rewards are also paltry. I'd rather lose myself in some level D caves." Suddenly he announced loudly, "Listen carefully. Tomorrow I will lead you straight into the level D cave. Only in real combat will you choose the suitable profession. Fortunately, you can still pick up beginner equipment." The trainees were stunned and murmured, "Are we storming the cave tomorrow already?" A brown-haired guy asked Teacher, "I heard new warriors have to undergo a week of physical training first." The bespectacled guy next to him also interjected skeptically, "And you have to choose a profession, too. Isn't that supposed to happen before entering the cave?" Kaya replied coldly, "I don't have time to guide physical training stuff. You guys are already heroes and still asking about physical training. This is my style. My requirements are very strict. If you can handle it, stay. If not, get lost. Understand? These are my rules." The trainees helplessly replied in unison, "Understood, sir." A Kwong thought to himself, "Isn't he just trying to break our spirits? He's just upset, wants to show some anger. Heroes are just ordinary people too. But it's okay, I will prove it." He happily pictured the beast-eared girl. A sly smile tugged at his lips because in his hand was the infinity ring that could activate the infinite portal, and it would be restored tonight. A bold plan had already formed in his mind. Currently, he possessed a level 72 beast-eared female warrior, strong and loyal. In the modest apartment, the TV suddenly aired the 7 p.m. news. A small earthquake just occurred in our city, causing a brief power outage. Fortunately, there were no casualties. The Alliance quickly ruled out any involvement of dark demons. A Kwong barely paid attention to the news, his eyes fixed firmly on the ring. He silently thought, the portal is ready. Now it's time to return to the other world. Without hesitation, he activated the infinite portal. A dazzling light burst forth. When he opened his eyes, he realized he had returned to the other world. Everything remained exactly as when he left. His clothes were unchanged. He pondered and suddenly understood, when leaving this world, not only does time freeze, but appearance and equipment remain completely unchanged, separated from the other world. Suddenly, the sharp voice of the beast-eared girl sounded from behind. "Master, what's wrong? What are you planning?" A Kwong jumped silently, cursing. Almost forgot about this girl. He scratched his head awkwardly and replied, "Nothing. Nothing at all. Let's start training. Let's kill low-level monsters first. You lead the way." The beast-eared girl's eyes gleamed excitedly as she replied, "Master, you are so passionate, truly wonderful. I just woke up with the best plan for you." "Master, I have already scouted the area. There is a large number of level 3 goblins nearby. They are relatively weak. I believe you can start practicing on them. Goblins are not only cunning by nature, but also very lecherous. They highly value their masters. Don't underestimate them." Hearing this, a Kwong smirked slightly, thinking of the monster's lecherous nature, and joked, "Then you should be careful yourself. Very good." But a Kwong was surprised to learn that low-level monsters in the other world were just like the familiar goblins. He silently thought excitedly, "What will my divine selection system bring truly? Something to look forward to." With spirits high, he clenched his fist and loudly declared, "All right, then. The first target is to attack the goblin nest." Soon after, the two quietly hid behind bushes, carefully observing the monsters. The beast-eared girl whispered softly, "Be cautious, Master. Be careful not to make loud noises. 2 goblin guards are sleeping. A Kwong frowned and asked her, "Aren't they level 72? Charging in and killing them should be enough, right?" He muttered to himself, only now realizing the beast-eared girl had a combat power of 630,000. Truly a formidable level 72 warrior. He activated his divine eye to check the info level 72 warrior profession combat power, 630,000. Suddenly, the beast-ear girl turned to her master in surprise. "How do you know I reached level 72? Ah Kwong, startled and awkwardly replied, "Did I say that?" "No, I don't want to explain at length." He quickly changed the subject. "I just have slightly better stats than others. I just wanted to see how a level 72 warrior fights." The beast-ear girl smiled and continued, "Is that so? But master, if we fight together, you won't gain any experience points because my level is much higher than yours." Hearing this, Kwong was stunned and exclaimed, "Huh!" He didn't expect that this other world had such a rule. Thinking back, he just wanted to witness her heroic stance in battle. The beast-ear girl shyly stammered, "Heroic stance, I wouldn't dare say that. But if master wants to watch, it's no problem at all. Please watch my moves carefully. I hope my combat experience can be helpful to you." With that, she drew her gleaming sword and executed the shield strike skill, slashing straight into the goblin horde with incredible skill. Kyong stood beside her, unable to help but applaud, amazing. "Is that really the move of a level 72 warrior?" The beast-ear girl turned around, her eyes sparkling. She softly said, "Too shy," and didn't forget to remind him. "Even if the opponent is at the lowest level, you must try your best. Give me your experience. I hope I will always be able to help you." Kwong smiled brightly and replied, No, very good, very good. That last move was really beautiful. Can you teach me?" The beast-ear girl looked a bit sad and gently shook her head, replying, Sorry, master. Shield strike is a high-level warrior skill that you can't learn yet. Besides, master hasn't decided on your profession yet, right?" Kwong nodded firmly and said, "Profession, that's easy. I'm currently at level 3, so I will choose warrior as my profession because you are here." He secretly thought, "Long here is excited, of course I have to choose warrior. Having a level 72 beast-ear warrior girl beside me is so convenient." Skills. With this absolute skill copying God skill, any intermediate or advanced skill is no problem. Just find a way to copy it. But the Divine Kingsword absolutely cannot be touched. I have to switch to normal weapons temporarily or else it won't deal damage. At that moment, the system notification sounded in his head. "You have chosen the warrior profession. Information board updated to level 3 Kwong. Profession warrior combat power 54. Currently equipped weapon. Divine Kingsword." Suddenly, the beast-ear girl tightly held his hand, her voice trembling with emotion. "Master, you trust me so much I don't know how to respond. You chose the warrior profession because of me. I won't let you down. Leveling up is not easy. I will definitely try my best to help you. Let's work together to get a basic warrior equipment set. We will surely level up together, okay?" The beauty held Kwong's hand, feeling her heart melt. Silently thinking, "Oh, this other world is really gentle and beautiful." He laughed loudly. "It's time for the shift change." Just then, the goblin horde suddenly charged out, shouting, "Hey, there's an intruder!" Kwong immediately reacted and said hurriedly, "Then I have to deal with these goblins sooner or later. Let me borrow your silver sword for a moment." He checked, and the system notification sounded, "You are equipping the borrowed silver sword temporarily." The beast-ear girl worriedly said, Master, if you recklessly fight goblins of the same level." "Let me finish." Kwong rushed straight forward, thinking to himself, last time using just the Divine Kingsword didn't deal any damage. Luckily, I copied the advanced warrior skill Earth-Shaking Dragon from Captain Jiang Nam. Now is the time to try it out. Without hesitation, he performed Earth-Shaking Dragon, an explosive power that instantly dropped the combat power 420 goblins to 0. Now is the time to test my strength. Without hesitation, he unleashed the Earth-Shattering Dragon technique, an explosive power that instantly reduced the goblins' combat power of 420 to 0 in the blink of an eye. Witnessing that scene, the beast-eared girl's eyes widened in amazement, silently thinking how powerful it was. How did the master manage to do that? Back then, he was only at level 3, yet he could defeat goblins of the same level in just 1 second. That kind of dungeon back then required a team of 6 people to complete it. After wiping out the monsters, Kwong smiled smugly and declared, "Not a bad feeling. Let's go. Watch me massacre this goblin nest." He thought excitedly to himself, the divine selection system is really interesting. Tonight, after clearing out these goblins, I'm definitely going to level up to 4. He bent down to remove the dirt and stones from the goblin corpses. The beast ear girl standing beside him quietly said, "Then that's a consolation for the master. For now, just use this as a weapon." A Kwong reached out and picked up a rough wooden stick from the loot pile. He raised it, and the system immediately notified a level 3 warrior class weapon. Rough wooden stick skill, none skill, copy. Earth-shattering strike, progress to next level, 50 out of 3,000. Holding the stick, he laughed and said, "No problem, this is a goblin stick, and it feels pretty handy." The beast ear girl followed behind, reminding him anxiously, "The most urgent task right now is to equip the master with basic armor. The strange clothes you're wearing don't provide any defense at all." A Kwong was startled looking down at his janitor outfit, thinking, "Yeah, that's right. If it's not proper gear, it doesn't offer any defense. If attacked, I would take the full damage immediately." He realized that not only weapons, but also good defensive armor were equally important. While walking, he checked the functions of the divine backpack. The system displayed the divine backpack as a special magical space unaffected and unrestricted by multidimensional worlds. This space exists only in consciousness, and currently has 2 storage slots. He thought excitedly to himself, "Really interesting. Items in the divine backpack can be used both in this other world and the real world. These 2 worlds connect through this backpack, really convenient." Continuing to walk, a Kwong unconsciously opened his character info panel. Before him appeared the line, "Skill, copy, earth-shattering strike, divine backpack, a Kyong combat, power 5, 400 current weapon, rough wooden stick armor, none." He pondered quietly. The divine backpack currently only has 2 slots, and Trui Than Vuong hasn't recovered yet, and already took up 1 slot. So there's only 1 empty slot left. The system continued updating. The divine backpack is like a magical tool. The more you train it, the more it grows in power, determining its capabilities. If you strive to level it up, the backpack's space will expand. A Kwong read attentively, muttering, "Training and growth means the more you use the divine backpack space, the more it expands. I wonder when I'll get more slots. But since it's Trui Than Vuong, I can't leave it behind. Only 1 empty slot left, that's really inconvenient." He suddenly thought that a full set of equipment usually has 5 parts in both the other world and the real world. He glanced at the beast ear girl, observing her body to imagine a helmet, gloves, armor for torso, thigh guards, and battle boots. He noticed a Kyong staring at him intently. The beast ear girl tilted her head curiously and asked the master, "Are you okay? Is there something on my face?" He was lost in thought about the equipment when suddenly images of girls flashed through his mind. He thought emotionally to himself, "Every time I see her, I think she's really beautiful. This beast ear girl is truly a rare beauty. I wonder if there are girls of other races in this other world as well." Scratching his head awkwardly, he quickly explained, "No, it's nothing. I was just checking if you could keep up." Suddenly, the beast ear girl sensed danger. Her sharp eyes drew her sword as she shouted a warning to the master, "Watch out!" Behind them, a Kwong was still lost in his vague thoughts, exclaiming, "Ah!" He slowly turned his head, then turned his whole body around. In front of him was a horde of fierce goblins, charging and roaring. The intruder was detected as female. 3 level 4 female goblins charged straight at them. The beast ear girl immediately raised her sword to block in front of a Kyong, her voice full of caution. "Master, the deeper we explore, the higher the goblins' levels become, so we must be careful." Hearing this, a Kwong smirked and replied, "That's good. That way the experience gained will increase too, right? If that's the case, then don't attack. Otherwise I won't get any experience points." Just then, the goblins rushed forward, shouting, "Do you want to die?" A Kwong immediately took a swing with the rough wooden stick full of spirit, shouting loudly, "Take a hit from me!" He continuously launched attacks, defeating all 3 goblins. Standing up, he looked at the dirty fragments falling from their hands and muttered, "Oh, the higher the opponent's level, the more experience points you get, but this troublesome weapon really isn't durable." Observing the whole scene, the beast-eared girl thought to herself, her eyes sparkling with amazement. The overwhelming power of the master is really terrifying. Just now, the force from the stick was not only based on his level 3 strength. One end of the 3 also understands surpassing levels, instantly destroying 3 level 4 goblins. Ordinary people absolutely cannot do this. No wonder he is my master. The deeper they went, the number and level of the goblins increased, but none could compare to a Kuong's terrifying strength. System update level progress 360 out of 3,000. In just a moment, the number jumped to level progress 1230 out of 3,000. The beast-eared girl exclaimed excitedly, "Master is really good." A Kuong shook his head, complaining in his heart, "This skill isn't bad, but the weapon is really useless. This is the 6th stick already now, only the last one remains." He defeated another goblin, thinking, "Long is excited, I didn't expect the experience rewards in this other world to be this great. Experience points increase faster than I thought." He recalled when he worked as a janitor, and heard heroes complain that level 3 or 4 dark demons in caves only gave less than 10 experience points. Leveling up in the real world is far away. You have to go through several caves before hoping to level up again. Moreover, according to the Hero Alliance's rules, heroes must form groups to enter caves, which leads to experience being split evenly, making the efficiency terribly low. He suddenly remembered a conversation between two heroes. "Those damn guilds and forces have robbed all the resources. We should consider joining a guild. Right now, every cave is contested. Leveling up is really getting slower and slower." A Kuong smiled silently, saying, "Here in this other world, I not only monopolize all the experience, but each small monster gives even more points. So good, so good." System notified level progress 100 out of 3,000. Yeah, seeing that he made up his mind, from now on I will level up crazily in this other world. After a while, both hid behind a rock. A Kuong tiredly thought, "Unbelievable." He stealthily poked his head out to observe the giant monster ahead, guessing silently, "Is this the form of the goblin boss?" The beast-eared girl spoke worriedly and softly. "Really unlucky. Didn't expect this time the boss was possessed by a dark demon." Hearing her, a Kuong suddenly became alert. Long stirred. Dark demons in this other world also come in this type. He recalled the dark demons in caves in the real world, a familiar feeling rising just like the one who killed his parents. He wondered, could they really be the same kind of dark demon? Seeing a Kuong's thoughtful face and trembling hands as if out of control, the beast-eared girl quickly spoke up, her voice full of worry. "Master, you can't underestimate creatures possessed by dark demons. Although this goblin boss is only level 6, once possessed by a dark demon, no matter strength, body, or any aspect is greatly enhanced. In short, dark demons are terrifying and mysterious creatures. They not only possess incredible and unpredictable power, but their existence is always a mystery. Therefore, Master, please allow me to deal with this boss for you." A Kuong shouted determinedly, "It doesn't have to be me personally who kills it." He thought silently, burning with hatred. "Although I don't know the connection between dark demons in these two worlds, they are a hateful species. They killed my parents. I must kill them with my own hands." Without hesitation, he rushed out from behind the rock. The beast-eared girl tried to stop him, but was too late. The master's noise attracted the boss's attention. It turned back, its eyes glowing red. The level 6 dark demon goblin boss roared fiercely, facing it. A Kuong seemed mad, growling, "Hateful species. Earth-shattering rage has ruined my sister's life. Die!" But before he could use a skill, the boss slashed with its claws, knocking him to the ground, rolling a few times before stopping. He held his chest in pain, cursing silently, damn it!" Taking advantage of the level 6 dark demon goblin boss, sticking out its tongue, preparing to charge a Kuong, and the beast-eared girl immediately rushed forward, swinging their swords straight at its tongue, shouting loudly, "Master is in danger!" He no longer has any weapons, not lying on the ground for long. A Kuong's heart burned with hatred. He gritted his teeth and forced himself to get up, thinking, "You want to kill me? The revenge for my parents. The revenge for my sister is not settled yet. How could I let a low-level goblin like you defeat me?" The power inside his body suddenly exploded fiercely. He clenched his fist tightly and shouted, "No weapons!" System notification. You have concentrated physical strength into your right arm. Please note this will place a heavy load on your right arm. A Kuong roared with overwhelming spirit, "My body is my weapon. Die for me." He threw a powerful punch at the level 6 dark demon goblin boss. The giant monster immediately collapsed. He growled, his eyes burning with fierce orange, "All dark demons deserve to die." The system immediately announced level 4 EXPC plus 1,000. Congratulations, you have leveled up. Level up progress 100 out of 6,000. The beast ear girl looked at a Kuang in panic, shouting, Master, your arm! The system continued to warn that your right arm is seriously injured. Please find treatment as soon as possible to avoid necrosis of the right arm. A Kuang was exhausted and gasping. It seems he overexerted himself, which is not good. The system explained you can freely adjust the position and intensity of your body. The strongest because you just concentrated all your energy into your right arm. Your current physical strength cannot withstand such a high energy intensity. His vision gradually blurred. His body staggered and fell. The beast ear girl anxiously called her master. She hurriedly supported him so he could lean on her in a daze. A Kuang whispered, My right arm hurts so much. The beast ear girl gently reassured him, Master, don't worry. I brought medicine with me. After more than 2 hours, a Kuang suddenly sat up in surprise and exclaimed, Oh, the medicine is really powerful. He thought silently with deep admiration. Although the recovery speed is slower than injections or capsules in the real world, the effect is still excellent. Maybe because the medicine in this other world is more ancient. The beast ear girl clapped in delight. It seems the master has recovered. Wonderful. A Kuang excitedly posed boastfully, not only recovered but even better than before the injury. The beast ear girl smiled and said, Master, now that you've recovered, let's go claim the reward. Hearing this, A Kuang grew even more enthusiastic and loudly said, System notification, go ahead. The system immediately responded, Additional rewards for quickly defeating the goblin boss. You have set a new record for the fastest boss kill in this lair. The reward has been upgraded from a single piece of equipment to a full set. The system continued, Additional rewards because this boss is a special dark demon goblin. The reward is replaced with a dark demon goblin equipment set. While A Kuang was engrossed in reading the system notification, the beast ear girl's eyes sparkled excitedly as she pointed in a direction and exclaimed, The treasure chest has been found, Master. Moreover, it is a primary dark demon treasure chest. Looking at the chest shimmering with a mysterious light, A Kuang felt joy swelling in his heart. An extra reward, and it's a dark demon equipment set. This type of equipment is extremely rare in the real world. Even in dark demon equipment auctions, it rarely appears. Until now, I've only accessed leftover fragments of equipment. He couldn't help but exclaim loudly, Oh, I love this other world. It's simply amazing. A Kuang opened the chest. The system immediately announced, Congratulations, you have received the Dark Demon Spirit Equipment Set. The beast ear girl standing beside him said excitedly, That's great. This is a complete set. Your level is just right to wear it. You should change into it quickly. But unexpectedly, A Kuang closed the chest again before her astonished eyes. He pondered, Wait, the spirit backpack currently only has one empty slot. If it's a full equipment set, the system shows. Do you want to store it in the spirit backpack? No, the spirit backpack has only 2 slots left. After reading, he pressed yes. He thought to himself, Isn't it the same unit? Could I store this equipment set in the spirit backpack? The system continued to announce, The Dark Demon Spirit Equipment Set has been successfully sent. You can retrieve items in the spirit backpack anywhere. Hearing this, A Kuang chuckled proudly, thinking, With my strength and intelligence, I can bring it back to the real world. The beast ear girl looked at him smiling and nervously asked, Master, what are you doing? A Kuang was startled, turned around, and scratched his head awkwardly. Ah, nothing. I stored this equipment set for later use. Do you know how to sew? The beast ear girl held up a cloth bag and replied, Since I was young, I have made my own clothes, so I'm used to carrying needles and thread with me. After a while, the two sat on the lush green grass. The beast ear girl busily sewed and then held up a black shirt with a smile. Done, master? According to your request, is this okay? A Kuang smiled with satisfaction and said, Not bad at all. This is good enough. He tried on the shirt and couldn't help but exclaim, Fits perfectly. You're really good. Thank you. Hearing this, the beast ear girl's eyes lit up joyfully and she said, That's great. Helping the master is the greatest honor for me. A Kuang fell into thought and murmured, Now that I've leveled up and have a new equipment set, maybe it's time to return. Without hesitation, he said, Since leveling up went smoothly, let's find a place to rest. The beast ear girl nodded and replied, We will all obey the master. After a while, a Kwong returned to the real world through the space gate. Seeing the familiar bed, he threw himself down face first on the pillow and sighed in relief. Phew. Back already. The gate closed behind him. Remembering before leaving after a long journey crossing the wilderness with the beast ear girl, they found a place to rest. While she fell asleep, he activated the gate to return. He muttered, "Next time I'll take her to eat something really delicious." Turning on the bed, he thought further. Progress in the other world can't be delayed forever, but now I need to rest. Tomorrow will be the first day at the shop. The next morning, the system displayed, "You have taken out the Dark Goblin Demon equipment set. Would you like to equip it?" A Kwong immediately chose yes. System notification. You have equipped the Dark Goblin Demon equipment set. Special skill Savage Beast Fist, when activated, will emit a deafening roar, freezing low-level enemies within sonic range. At the same time, your arm will transform into a giant beast fist, delivering a critical strike. A Kwong excitedly exclaimed, "It even has a special skill when the full set is equipped." He smiled proudly, but suddenly hesitated worriedly. "If I go out with this set, it might attract too much attention. I've heard of many bad heroes who kill and rob equipment from newbies like me. This equipment set is way too eye-catching." He sat down on the bed, feeling frustrated, scrolling through the system panel. Suddenly, he stopped at a setting line, Hide Equipment. You will wear normal clothes. Do you want to hide the equipment? No, he exclaimed, startled. No way. Quickly pressed yes. The large equipment gradually disappeared, replaced by normal clothes. Joy lit up in a Kwong's eyes. He cheered, Hide the equipment. He quickly put on the pants, muttering excitedly. Still plenty of time before the gathering. Then let's go buy some noodles. Suddenly, the old phone he bought from a second-hand market in his pants pocket rang with an energetic ringtone. I want to get rich. I want to get stronger. I want to get rich. I want to get stronger. Hearing the ring, a Kwong was surprised and exclaimed, Someone actually called me, that's rare. He hurriedly answered politely, Hello, greetings to the person on the other end. A hurried voice said, You are Xiao Ham's older brother. A Kwong, right? I am the nurse who usually takes care of your sister. A group of men looking fierce just stormed into the hospital. They ignored all our attempts to stop them and tried to forcibly take your sister away. They were shouting something about using her to pay off a debt. You need to come to the hospital right away. The words hit like lightning. A Kwong immediately remembered that to get Xiao Ham admitted smoothly, he had no choice but to borrow money from a loan shark. Even though he paid weekly as agreed, why are they still bothering Xiao Ham? Anxious, he demanded, Please tell them not to touch my sister. On the other end, the nurse's voice was panicked. They took my phone. You have to come here quickly. The line went dead with a crackling sound. Anger flared up like fire. A Kwong clenched his fists and crushed the old phone. He growled, You damn bastards. Just stepping out from the hospital direction, the desperate cries of Xiao Ham pierced through the air. Please, please wait for my brother to come. You can't do this. Please don't touch me. I don't know you. The loan sharks were like wild beasts, utterly heartless. They flipped the scarf off the girl. The leader spoke coldly, You don't know us, but we know you're a disabled girl, and that's enough. Your brother, a Kwong, borrowed money from us before but didn't pay it back on time. According to the agreement, we have no choice but to bring you back to repay the debt. He curled his lips, thinking smugly. The reason I lent that dumb kid money was because two big shots had their eyes on this disabled little sister. Such a cute Lolita girl is very popular on the black market. She'll definitely fetch a high price. Plus, her crippled legs make her even more appealing to the wealthy. The contract has been tampered with by that kid. How could he understand it? Anyway, these two siblings have no backing. If they get taken away, no one would even notice. I'm too bored for this game. Tears glittered on Xiao Ham's cheeks, but she responded firmly. No waiting. My brother and I never signed such a clause with the eldest brother. You definitely tricked my brother. The leader sneered coldly. The money your brother gave us each week hardly covers the interest. Xiao Ham trembled and shouted, Then when will he be able to pay back the principal? He bent down and squeezed her face tightly, threatening in a harsh voice. Don't be stubborn and refuse to drink the wine we offer, then have to pay the penalty drink. Be obedient and come with us. That way you'll suffer less. Otherwise, don't blame me for showing no mercy. Suddenly, a loud crash erupted. A Kwong, his eyes bloodshot, kicked the door open. The henchman startled and turned to face the fury blazing in his gaze. His voice was deep and filled with killing intent. "I want you bastards out!" Seeing her brother appear, Zhao Ham sobbed, calling him brother. The leader smirked provocatively. "Who's that?" "Oh, isn't that a Kwong? I'm not looking for you, but you came straight to our door. What's the point of being so angry if you can't pay back the money? We have nothing to say. Letting the sister pay the debt for you is already me being merciful to you two." Without another word, a Kwong lunged forward with a thunderous punch. The blow twisted the leader's jaw teeth, flying out. His body spun several times before collapsing to the ground. The system in his body announced, "Strongest body. Reasonably adjust strength into the feet. Effectively increase movement speed." A henchman hurried over anxiously to steady the leader, the boss. Meanwhile, the remaining fat thug roared, charging at a Kwong. "You want to die!" But before he could touch him, a Kwong raised his fist to block the attack. The tremendous force from a Kwong twisted the thug's arm. The thug screamed in pain, "My arm!" The leader, face contorted in pain, pulled a gun from his jacket and growled furiously, "You damn bastard! How dare you hit us? No one has ever dared touch our Thanlong gang before. You're dead." The bullet flew straight at a Kwong, causing Zhao Ham to scream in panic, "No!" But a Kwong with eyes cold as ice reached out and caught the bullet mid-air unharmed. The henchman holding the leader trembled and stammered in horror. You didn't see wrong, right?" The boss, he caught the bullet bare-handed. The fat thug was also shocked, voice shaking. No way!" How did you do that?" A Kwong smirked and lowered his voice. "Because I'm a hero now." The system inside him announced, "Strongest body. Use body strength to protect the hand. Ordinary weapons cannot cause damage." At this moment, the three thugs finally realized they had picked the wrong opponent. The entire group trembled in unison. Sir? Hero." Just then a nurse led the police rushing in, shouting, "There's someone harassing our patient right at the door ahead. Moreover, it seems they have no good intentions. Hurry up." Entering the room, they were stunned to see a Kwong standing there, face dark and about to explode. While the three thugs forced awkward laughs and helped each other leave, they hurriedly changed their tone to flattering Brother Kwong. "Please return the money you owe us as soon as possible. Please pay it all at once. If you don't pay me, I'm afraid my two gang leaders, who are also heroes, won't spare you." "Then we'll leave now. Sorry for the trouble. Have a good rest today, Sister Tioham. Get well soon." Facing the police and the nurse, the thugs laughed falsely. "Sorry for bothering you," then quickly slipped out. Just out of sight, the leader clenched his teeth, remembering Thanlong Bang's two gang leaders, level 10 flesh shield warriors with a combat power of 200-300. He cursed quietly in his heart, unbelievable. That kid Akong has recently become a hero. Damn, I have to report to the two gang leaders. The plan to kidnap Akwong's little sister was a complete failure. The two gang leaders are level 10 flesh shield warriors with 200-300 combat power, definitely strong enough to handle this kid. This debt must be collected. Tioham's eyes brightened as she cheered. While adjusting the scarf on Akwong's sister, Tioham gently said, "You might not be able to visit her often lately, but that bastard was right about one thing. If the debt isn't paid soon, Thanlong Bang will come knocking at our door again. These days I'll figure out how to pay back." He smiled reassuringly. "I'm a hero now, so don't worry." Hearing that, the little girl's eyes widened in surprise. "Have you already successfully become a hero?" Akwong nodded confidently. "Yeah, but I'm still a trainee hero. After today, when I go into the cave, I can become an official hero." As he spoke, he raised the card engraved with the words, "Hero Akwong BTG." In his heart, he calculated how to pay Tioham's hospital fees. "I borrowed 300,000 from Thanlong Bang. If I rely only on earning money in this world, even becoming a regular hero will take a long time. I have to return to the other world to bring back equipment to sell." In the forest, where trainee heroes gather under Master Kai Ha's guidance, Akwong thought confidently. The cooldown for the Infinity Ring will be ready tonight. Soon I'll be able to become a true hero. Master Kai Ha, a level 9 warrior with 1-200 combat power, boomed. "Enough people gather here. Today I'll lead you down the cave. This is also the place to evaluate your transition to official status. But there are some things I must explain first. If you find any equipment during this cave trip, you must hand it over to me. This has been the rule for a long time. Any objections?" The trainee heroes shouted in unison, "No, understood." Kwong briefly frowned, thinking I've heard about this kind of behavior, but the Hero Alliance just turns a blind eye. Well, whatever. There probably isn't anything valuable in a low-level cave anyway. Kai-Ha continued in an authoritative tone. As for your evaluation, rest assured, I am a level 9 warrior. As long as you follow my instructions closely, I guarantee you'll all pass. As a thank you for a successful transition, each of you must pay me 1,000. Any problem with that? Hearing this, the trainee heroes lowered their heads, not daring to protest, and answered in unison. No, problem. But Kwong, hot-blooded, couldn't hold back and raised his hand to object. Why should I give you an extra 1,000? You gave us the equipment for free, so why charge a fee on top of that? I don't have much money to give you. A kind guy behind him whispered a warning. Hey, buddy, don't make Master Kai-Ha angry. He's from the Crazy Wolf Guild. Kwong thought quietly, his eyes flashing with understanding. So they have guild backing. No wonder they dare to brazenly charge fees like that. He said firmly, with no concession, I'd rather die than pay you guys. Besides, I only have a few dozen coins left, not enough even for food, let alone that. Kai-Ha frowned, his tone dropping with irritation. You're a gutsy kid, aren't you? This is my rule. If a poor devil like you can't pay the full 1,000, then go apply to take the test alone. He cursed silently. Where did this idiot come from? How can someone not understand this kind of rule? If you dare embarrass me, I'll make sure you die miserably down there. The crowd around began whispering skeptically. Individual evaluation. No intern hero has ever passed the test alone. Anyway, this is a basic level cave. Aren't you just asking for death? Someone whispered. Even real heroes wouldn't dare enter the cave alone. That guy is truly an idiot. Just because of 1,000, he's offending Master Kai-A and the Mad Wolf Guild. He won't survive in this world anymore. Kwong sneered defiantly and replied, You mean I can apply for an individual evaluation, right? That's exactly what I want. The guy with glasses, eyes full of astonishment, stammered, Excuse me, are you serious? What you signed up for is individual evaluation. Are you sure you didn't make a mistake? I'm just here to confirm with you. Yeah, no one has ever passed the intern evaluation alone. Never. Although this is a level D cave used by the Hero Alliance for assessment as a new intern, aren't you basically asking for death? Kwong didn't hesitate, his tone demanding confirmation. Confirm my entry. Thanks for the reminder. The glasses guy shook his head, still doubtful. If that's not a mistake, then please enter. He began entering the confirmation info into the intern hero system. Kwong submitted the individual evaluation application. As the evaluation started, he thought silently, Is this for real? Is this kid crazy for applying for an individual evaluation? Entering the cave, the system immediately displayed cave information. Dense jungle terrain, level C evaluation. Recommended group size 5 or more. Recommended average combat power 600 or above. Kwong glanced around, overwhelmed by the gloomy scenery. He exclaimed, Before I only saw the entrance after heroes defeated the dark demons. But turns out the cave really looks like this. Suddenly a shadow darted past a monster from behind, trying to ambush him. Kwong spun around like lightning, shouting, You want a sneak attack? Luckily his gear was sturdy enough. The monster's attack couldn't penetrate his defense layer. It was a level 3 dark demon grunt, combat power 640. Kwong grabbed its wooden club with one hand and smashed it back, knocking the monster to the ground. He muttered, Be alert. In this cave world, even the grunts are dark demons with high combat power. But with my combat power of 6,400, you guys aren't even close. After defeating one monster? Kwong casually dusted his hands, eyes flashing with boredom. If this is reality, the experience these monsters provide is really meager. They're just weak grunts, not even half as strong as those in other dimensions. No wonder heroes are always anxious about their turtle-slow leveling speed. The system coldly announced leveling progress 20 out of 6,000. Suddenly sensing hidden murderous intent, Kwong smirked, his voice sharp and clear. Stop sneaking around, just come at me. Sure enough, a pack of djinn beasts rained down from the treetops. Kwong smirked softly, whispering, Perfect, I've been wanting to try this move. He immediately activated the armor flash strike, a burst of violent energy exploding from his armor, spreading all around. The djinn beasts, which he mistakenly called gold beans, were knocked down and scattered like dry leaves before the storm. The more enemies charged, the more excited Kwong became. Eyes blazing, he roared with enthusiasm. Dark demons at this level, bring them on. Bring it on. Outside. The glasses guy watched the progress board intently, mumbling in disbelief. It's been almost an hour, and he's still holding alone this long. Not bad at all. Definitely a rookie hero, arrogant and fearless. Individual evaluation. Only a madman would dare apply for this. No one has ever chosen this test before. Initially, the Alliance even planned to cancel it. He shook his head and sighed. Surely the detector will soon report that he's dead. Just wait and see. But at that moment, the device suddenly vibrated, leaving him stunned. The personal evaluation results have been updated. Participant A. Kwong has passed the challenge. He stepped out of this cave looking calm, as if he had just taken a casual stroll. He spoke up. May I ask if there's a place nearby where I can freshen up a bit? Meanwhile, Kai A's group staggered out of the cave. As soon as he stepped outside, he sneered contemptuously. A bunch of useless people. If it weren't for my powerful strength, you guys would have long been killed by the Dark Demon. I really don't know how you obtained this hero certificate. You don't even know how to do a support attack. I'll charge you 1,000 yuan. Now I think that might even be too little. The people behind him began whispering, their voices full of frustration. No, didn't he tell us not to interfere? I shot a few more arrows and he said I was disrupting his rhythm. I used magic to help him recover and he criticized me for casting too slowly. So he refuses to charge us 1,000 yuan and still complains it's too little. Besides, this is our first time entering the cave. We really have no experience. How can we be blamed? On top of that, he didn't teach us anything. Someone quickly spoke up to calm things. Hey guys, calm down. At least we passed. Forget it. Hearing the whispers behind him, Kai A flew into a rage, his face flushed red. He turned around and shouted loudly, Let me tell you, at your level, I usually charge that much. Charging 1,000 yuan from you all is already very generous. Grumbling, he grabbed his communicator, but as soon as he heard the voice on the line, his face went pale. He growled in shock, What, that kid already passed the personal evaluation? No way! Furious Kai A stepped up to a Kwong, ready to settle things. He aggressively questioned, How did you pass the personal evaluation? Answer me, I've investigated you. You're only level 3 or 4, and there are no records of your combat ability. Due to a power outage, you're completely a newbie. Did you bring any advanced props with you? No rookie has ever succeeded before. You're just a trainee hero. It's absolutely impossible for you to pass the personal evaluation. Speak up now. Despite his urgency, a Kwong calmly responded in a gentle but cold tone. I told Master Kai A that just because no one has done it doesn't mean it can't be done right. However, perhaps it was your 1,000 yuan fee that forced me to accomplish it. You should also hear his provocative answer. Kai A turned purple with rage and shouted, Ha ha, you rotten brat! Are you mocking me? Don't drink the offered wine, but insist on drinking penalty shots. Do you know who I am? Have you ever heard of the Mad Wolf Guild? Hearing the provocation, a Kwong calmly replied coldly, Combat power level 91200. Your guild's strength is really something to worry about, isn't it, Master Kai A? Kai A's face turned purple, his eyes bloodshot as if he was about to go insane. He lunged forward, ready to throw a punch, growling, Wanna die? Who the hell are you? You're just a poor demon, yet you dare mock me. But a Kwong swiftly blocked his punch with a calm but powerful voice. A punch from a level 9 hero like you aimed at my throat. Are you trying to kill me? Kai A was stunned, his mind in chaos. This speed and strength are only level 3 or 4, aren't they? What the hell is going on? He hesitated, took a step back, stammering, You. Then suddenly he drew a gleaming sword, his eyes flashing with fierce intent. A Kwong was momentarily startled, but before he could react, the sword stabbed straight into his hand. At that moment, the system announced a test for the Dark Demon Gomban with the strongest body defense effect activated. The sword touching a Kwong immediately snapped in two with a dry cracking sound. Kia froze, staring at the broken sword, mumbling, Oh no, it broke. Just now hitting him felt definitely not like flesh. The guy spun around and pointed straight at a Kwong, shouting, You definitely have hidden gear on you. It must be high-level gear, right? But a Kwong flinched slightly, thinking to himself, Damn, I was too careless. I shouldn't have shown my ability like that. If people in this world find out my secret, it will surely bring disaster. But on the outside, he kept a calm expression. Meanwhile, Kai A squinted his eyes, grinning slyly. What kind of treasure do you have on you that you can even hide it like that? Good, very good. Whatever you have on you is definitely top-notch. Found in some cave and you even dare to sneak around with it. The guy didn't realize a Kwong silently breathed a sigh of relief. "You scared me to death." He pretended to clutch his arm and grimaced, saying, "If the knife, your dagger hasn't been badly damaged through many battles, so it broke just when it touched me. Otherwise, I would have died just now." Just then, the bespectacled employee suddenly appeared from behind, hesitating. "Sorry to bother, hero. A Kwong needs you here to verify his identity. Then you will officially become a hero." A Kwong casually replied calmly, "All right, let me come right away." In his heart, he thought fortunately that Kai-A was here at this moment. After all, he wouldn't dare do anything in front of the employees. He glanced back, sweat beading on his forehead, scolding himself. What an idiot. Even though the chosen god system gave me superior combat ability and strength, I'm still only level 4. If I face enemies of higher levels, I have no chance to protect myself. Back in his apartment, he collapsed on the bed, eyes thoughtful about how Kai-A looked at him as if wanting to swallow him whole. Looks like trouble is about to come. He suddenly remembered the beast-eared girl shaking his head in frustration. "She can't fight alongside me in this world. I need to be more humble. My current level is really too low." Outside, right in front of a Kwong's door, 2 shadowy figures stopped stealthily. One lowered his voice. "This is the place, right?" He was a level 10 Wild Wolf Guild member, a mage, profession combat power 3500. He pulled out a magic staff and whispered, "After breaking in, I'll use magic to control him. You can knock him unconscious and take him away." Nearby, Kai-A squinted, a greedy gleam in his eyes, nodding. "All right, if there really is a treasure like I predicted. Then we split it 5-5. The man in black quickly warned in a low voice, "Be careful not to let him notice." Then he continued, "First, I'll use magic to break the lock." He began to melt the lock with magical flames. Just then, the door burst open. A Kwong rushed out with fiery eyes full of anger, roaring with a steel voice. "Damn it, and they show up right at my door!" That was fast. Without hesitation, he unleashed the earth-shattering dragon move power, exploding, shouting, "Kneel for me!" And in his mind, he quickly analyzed, so they even called a level 10 mage. Though his combat power is only 3,500, he's 6 levels above me. Facing him head-on would be disadvantageous. Combat power is a direct measure of a hero's strength. Although a Kwong currently has 6,400 combat power, far surpassing the opponent, his level is only 4. 1 or 2 levels difference is no problem, but a 6-level gap is a deadly distance that compensates for the lower combat power. He thought silently, it's like a low-level master facing a dumb boss in an RPG game. Maybe I can only rely on gear and skills to barely turn the tide, but just one small mistake and I'm done for. Kaya quickly pulled the man in black back, but he was pushed hard and angrily shouted, "You damn bastard, you dare to ambush me!" Luckily, my cloak just boosted my physical defense. Without arguing, the man shouted, "Whatever, kill him, and take what he's carrying." Quickly, the man in black swung his magic staff, a blazing fire stream bursting toward a Kwong. He panicked, sweating, thinking, "Too hot, this goblin armor and the body's physical defense are really formidable, but magic resistance is terrible." Compared to previous fights with the Jin beasts, low-level monsters only knew how to swing clubs. This time, it's completely different, he muttered. "Escape is the best plan. Can't face both at once or I'll suffer big losses." A Kwong immediately turned and dashed forward, leaving behind the 2 growling angry men. The man in black shouted loudly, "Chase after a Kwong!" Without hesitation, he jumped over the railing. In his mind, he quickly calculated, focusing his physical strength into his legs, along with the protective ability of the Dark Goblin Demon set, which could definitely withstand the impact when landing. The system immediately notified strongest body. "Note you have concentrated your physical strength into your legs. The rest of the body is no longer protected." But just as he was gathering strength to land suddenly, a white-clad figure rushed in from the side, hitting him hard in the stomach. It was another member of the level 12 Wild Wolf Guild warrior class combat power 3,900. A Kwong staggered silently, groaning. There's still an ambush attacking from behind. The white-clad man delivered a heavy blow like a hammer, laughing contemptuously. "Soldiers don't use tricks, but you wouldn't expect 3 of us to come at once. Right, dealing with a kid at level 3 or 4 like you like this is already being too generous. Hey. A Kwong was knocked to the ground, his body slamming hard down. He gritted his teeth, silently thinking, "Luckily I regained my strength before landing. My stomach wasn't protected earlier, and my knees hit hard too. Without the basic defense of the Dark Goblin Demon set, those 2 hits would have knocked me out. The white-clad man landed and looked at Akyong, struggling to sit up. He raised an eyebrow, voice full of surprise. "And you're still not dead? That really surprises me." Kai A's group had already surrounded Akyong tightly. The black-clad man charged forward, growling suspiciously. "What skill did you just use to attack me? You're clearly new, so how do you have a skill like that?" Akyong clenched his teeth, anger flaring in his chest. He silently vowed, "If you want to kill me, then just die." He activated energy claw armor and power ready to explode. But at that moment, the black-clad man swung a magic staff. A flash of light nullified all his effects. The man shouted triumphantly, "Restraining action here means restraining." It immobilizes the target for 1.5 seconds. If the target's level is lower than the caster's, it can forcibly interrupt the target's action. Akyong cursed bitterly. Damn it, my skill got interrupted. The black-clad man smirked, eyes glittering with greed. Luckily, I prepared this. Although it's low level, it has many skills. Surely it's carrying many treasures. Just watch. The white-clad man next to him sneered. This is satisfying, heh. After killing you, we'll split the loot. Isn't that the purpose of our trip? Heh. The whole group charged fiercely as if they wanted to claw Akyong apart like helpless prey. At that moment, the system announced, "The cooldown of the Infinity Ring has ended. The Infinity Passage is ready." Akyong glanced down at the sparkling ring, breathed a sigh of relief. It's on his side. The timing was just right. Infinity Passage activated. The space in front of him twisted open into a mysterious dimension. He felt his body being sucked forward before completely disappearing. Akyong roared defiantly, "Wait for me to come back, you 3 damn bastards. When I level up and return, we'll see who dies, either you or me, back to that world, back to the original world." Gasping for breath, his face still showing panic. Akyong thought to himself, "Right. I have to plan to level up immediately, learn new skills. This mission has been too tough even with the chosen system. I was too complacent and almost forgot that to protect this, I need real power must be stronger before coming back to deal with them." He promised himself his fate must be in his own hands. Then he turned to the nearby girl, voice serious, "Beast Ear Girl, where can I learn skills here?" Turning back, Akyong found the Beast Ear Girl sleeping soundly, breathing evenly. He thought silently that he'd forgotten she was deeply asleep when he left, looking at his assistant lying before him. Akyong took a quiet breath and murmured with a dazed look, "There's a scent of cherry blossoms, a sweet fragrance from the Beast Ear Girl that's alluring like an invitation." His heart suddenly raced, silently groaning, "Damn it, how can a man resist?" But at that moment, Kai A's words suddenly rang in his head. "Kill her!" Akyong was startled and quickly calmed himself. "No, what am I doing? Now is not the time to get distracted. I have to solve the crisis in the real world first." He silently took a deep breath to steady himself. Akyong needed a plan to level up and learn new skills. The next morning, the Beast Ear Girl woke up stretching, voice refreshed. "It's been a long time. I haven't slept this well." Sounds good." Akyong forced a smile and replied, "Yeah, I slept well too, ha." But the Beast Ear Girl looked at him with a puzzled gaze when she saw the dark circles under his eyes. She had no idea that Akyong had spent the whole night tossing and turning, his mind racing with 100 thoughts, unable to sleep. He awkwardly continued, "Please help me make another shirt." Then he got ready to leave. The Beast Ear Girl nodded and suggested, "The Master of Skill Learning needs a skill scroll. I heard there's a very convenient way you can go to the Combat Academy to learn. The Orc tribe has a small combat academy." After a long journey before the two of them stood a towering rocky mountain, the Orc tribe's combat academy. The gatekeeper looked at Akyong with a stern voice. "You are the suspicious human appointed by the Orc King. To enter the combat academy, there are requirements. First, you must be at least level 6. Second, you need to pass the academy's exam, but you're only level 4. Leave now." Hearing this, Akyong's anger flared up, snapping, This is such a hassle, have to reach level 6 and then pass an exam too." But contrary to his rough attitude, the new armor he wore gleamed with a unique heart pattern. the shirt skillfully sewn by the beast-ear girl holding a subtle, quiet sentiment she silently entrusted. The beast-ear girl suddenly spoke hesitantly. "Sorry, Master. I didn't know about these requirements because I passed this special rule by obtaining the skill scroll while cleaning the lair." Kwong smiled gently to reassure her. No need to apologize. "Anyway, I have to level up. I'll reach level 6 and come back here." The beast-ear girl nodded, her eyes brightening as she suggested, "Master, I know of some low-level lairs nearby that could help you level up." As the two gradually disappeared, the gatekeeper standing behind burst into a contemptuous laugh. "Ha ha, filthy, shameless humans. No one in the orc tribe accepts you. If the orc king hadn't appointed you, you would have been torn to pieces long ago. Besides, even if you reach level 6, you still won't pass the academy trial. Now you're bringing along a small orc hybrid, too. What a perfect pair you two make." Overhearing the harsh words, the beast-ear girl froze her ears, drooping heart heavy. She thought silently, "As expected, my lowly status still causes trouble for Master. His kindness made me forget my place. If this continues, I will only hold him back. Later, I should explain clearly to Master and then leave." But at that moment, Kwong suddenly turned around, his face blazing with anger, striding towards the gatekeeper, making the beast-ear girl cry out in alarm. "Master! Master!" Kwong grabbed the gatekeeper's collar tightly, eyes blazing as he growled, "What did you just say? Do you want me to tear your rotten mouth apart? Apologize to that beast-ear girl immediately right now." "So you heard what was said earlier." The gatekeeper awkwardly hurried to explain. "Hey, what are you doing?" "I'm just telling the truth. That woman is a bastard born of a human and an orc, only half-orc, a disgrace to our orc kind in existence that can't even have a proper name. Isn't that contemptible? Half-orcs. The offspring of orcs and other races are seen as a great stain by purebred orcs who value bloodlines. Everywhere they are despised, their status so low they aren't recognized, not even worthy of a name. The fate of half-orcs is rejected by all sides, often filled with hardship and humiliation." Kwong was stunned as memories flooded back. Previously, when using the system's third eye to display the beast-ear girl's information: unknown name, unknown title. Level 2, orc warrior profession, no weapon. He thought, so she is a human-orc hybrid. He had seen her info before, but never saw her name or heard her mention her own. So she doesn't even have a name. The gatekeeper's face flushed with anger as he shouted warningly, "Your human name wasn't appointed by the orc king, but if you dare disrespect the orc warriors, you will be punished. Don't you understand your status in the orc tribe? You want me to apologize? You can pass our test, then I'll apologize to her, just because you humans want to pass the orc warriors' challenge. How ridiculous we are." The beast-ear girl hurried forward, pleading, "Master, he's right. Please don't let this trouble you because of me." But Kwong, with ice-cold eyes, grabbed the gatekeeper's collar and clearly declared her name is An. Remember that for me. The beast-ear girl was stunned, heart-fluttering. Master gave her a name. Kwong turned away, voice firm, as he repeated, "If you said you would apologize if I passed the test, then I hope the orc warriors keep their promise." Then he gently put his arm around her shoulder and said, "Let's go. We're going to level up." A while later, by the shimmering lake, Kwong spoke excitedly. "Lake spirit, this is quite rare." "Good, then let's use them to level up." Suddenly he hesitated and turned to the beast-ear girl. Master, why did you help me pick the name An?" Kwong scratched his head awkwardly. "Huh. You don't like it? I decided it myself." Seeing your misunderstanding, she quickly waved her hand, explaining, "It's not like that. I really like it. I like it a lot. I just want to know why Master came up with that name." Hearing that, Kwong blushed awkwardly and replied, "Ha ha! Saying it like this is a bit embarrassing, since beside you I can always catch the faint scent of cherry blossoms, probably from your body fragrance. I thought you might suit the name, so I named you that. Sorry I was too casual." The beast-ear girl suddenly stepped forward and tightly hugged Kwong's neck, her voice choked with emotion. Thank you, Master. I really like this name. Thank you so much. My name is An. Now I have a name." Kwong blushed and awkwardly replied, No need to be so formal. Let's start leveling up. Kwong strode into the cave, his sharp eyes scanning the dark space. The beast ear girl spoke softly. Master, have you gotten used to the sword and saber you bought at the weapon shop? Kwong smirked in satisfaction. Although they aren't high-quality weapons, they're still much stronger than the wooden club I used against the goblins before. He paused briefly, then continued in a low tone. Very satisfied. Is it because I can lift the hammer now? Why does it feel like any weapon is surprisingly light in my hands? Suddenly, the space shook with a strange sound. In front of them appeared 3 fox humanoids, one level 5, another level 5, and a third level 5. Fox humanoids are a type of orc with fox-like appearances, agile, sharp, and much smarter than other orcs. They often make careless adventurers pay a heavy price. All 3 have a combat power of 720. Kwong turned back to instruct the beast ear girl. The old rule, you just stand behind me and guide. No actions allowed, or it'll be considered group mode and I won't get any experience points. The beast ear girl stood behind, her eyes sparkling with quiet joy, thinking, Master called my name again. Group mode has strict limits. If the highest and lowest levels in the group differ by 5 or more levels, no one gains experience points or items from the battle. Without hesitation, Kwong charged forward with a fierce voice. Come on, I'll test out my new sword formation on you guys. The beast ear girl quickly reminded fox humanoids are very agile and extremely intelligent, so Master should avoid swinging back and forth too much when attacking. Just as she said, the fox humanoids dodged Kwong's attacks with terrifying speed, moving like ghosts. He thought to himself, oh indeed, they're even faster than I expected. Without hesitation, Kwong activated his strongest body mode, focusing all his power into his body, sharply increasing his physical resistance. The fox humanoids startled and retreated, eyes showing fear. He coldly declared, Your combat power can't even leave a scratch on me, from behind the beast. Eargirl watched with admiring eyes, thinking, Master's physical resistance is incredible. No wonder he was chosen by the gods. These low-level monsters couldn't even leave a scratch on Master. At this rate, leveling up is just a matter of time. As for Kwong, he handled the fox humanoids with rare caution. He realized that to deal with agile enemies, attacks must be sharp and swift rather than heavy and slow. This was today's lesson. He thought, leveling up in this world is exhilarating. Not only do I gain lots of experience fighting alone, but I don't have to compete for resources with anyone. But in his mind, a worry lingered those 3 others, though the strongest only have 900 combat power, but level 12 is a problem. No matter how strong I am, a big level gap puts me at a disadvantage in one-on-many fights. Their level and skill suppression will cause me losses. I must narrow the level gap and choose the right 4 active skills carefully. Stepping forward with a cold face, Kwong roared with determination. Level up to 6 in one go. I want that orc who thinks he's so great. Sorry, miss. The beast ear girl quickly nodded, excited. All right, all right. As they went deeper into the cave, the 2 suddenly faced a level 7 dark demon fox humanoid boss, lurking silently behind a rock, its eyes flashing with dangerous desire. Kwong whispered, eyes fixed on the saber on the monster's back. That saber looks tempting. I wonder if it can drop. It's the perfect length, full of power, feels like it was made for me. He turned to the beast ear girl and asked, Master means it might drop as equipment, right? Kwong nodded, thoughtful. I just wanted to ask, can that big saber drop? The beast ear girl immediately replied, eyes bright. Generally, anything can drop, Master. However, drop rates depend on the rarity of the gear. If you agree, we can keep sweeping the same cave until the desired equipment drops, then stop. The caves at different levels have different refresh times. Using certain special items will speed it up. She further explained that the drop rate is the probability of obtaining equipment from monsters. The better the equipment, the higher the level. The stronger the effect, the lower the drop rate. Kwong silently pondered. Indeed, there was something called a drop rate. This alternate world is like a role-playing game. Perhaps the system inside my body exists for this reason, which makes everything make sense. He activated his celestial eye, scanning the level 7 dark demon lake. Human boss combat power 1, 500. Looking closer, he was surprised to mentally exclaim, oh, on closer inspection, he found more interesting information. The system displayed dark demon cold light sword drop rate 6%. He frowned quite low. He continued to think if by level 6 this cold light sword still hasn't dropped, that's a real pity. It seems to suit me very well. At that moment, the system issued a new notification. The exchange system has been activated. You can trade corresponding items by meeting certain conditions. The items available for exchange will be refreshed and updated according to your level and strength. Note that if current items are not exchanged for a long time, they will be replaced after a certain period. Akyong focused intently on the information before him, silently noting that the exchange feature uses conditions to trade. This fate system inside my body still holds countless undiscovered secrets. Currently, there was only one item. He checked more carefully. The system displayed a high-rate increase scroll, which increases the drop rate of all items by 30% for 1 minute. The inventory required exchanging rewards for killing 30 regular monsters from level 1 to 5. He had killed a total of 114 so far. Conditions met. Akyong was excited eyes shining brightly, thinking, wait, 114 monsters, doesn't that mean I can exchange directly? Killing 30 monsters to exchange for 1 scroll, and I've killed a total of 114, including both worlds. If I exchange 3 scrolls at once, the drop rate will increase to 96%, almost guaranteeing the sword will drop. He smiled and quickly completed the transaction. After a while of bustling, 3 scrolls were neatly in his hands. The system notified reward exchange conditions met. You have successfully exchanged for 3 drop rate increase scrolls. Since you currently don't have a backpack and normally can't store them in one, Akyong hurriedly stuffed them into his pocket. Excited, he said, I want that great sword to drop. It will surely increase my strength. The beast-eared girl named An clapped joyfully, cheering, Come on, master, drop it now. Akyong nodded, turning to her, then said no more words, Please guide me. Suddenly, the space shook with the mad screams of the dark demon lake human boss. It swung the steel blade, flashing toward Akyong. Luckily, he leapt up just in time to dodge the attack. He exclaimed in surprise, Oh, this sword attack can also cause cold damage. The beast-eared girl quickly explained, Master, the dark demon lake human not only retains agility, but also has immense strength. Its weapon carries ice attributes. If attacked, you will be slowed and easily lose stamina. So try to avoid prolonged fights. Find its weakness and eliminate it. This lake human's weakness is fire. You can apply fire grease to your weapon. Akyong immediately smeared fire grease onto the sword blade. Flames burst up on the steel blade. He nodded decisively, so that's how it is understood. Akyong, full of spirit, challenged the dark demon lake human boss. Let's see whether your ice attribute is stronger or my fire attribute is stronger. The sword in his hand blazed with flames from the fire grease, a mixture of resin and tree roots that can ignite spontaneously without an external flame source, making it a popular and powerful item. He charged forward, swinging his sword horizontally at the boss. It countered with an icy slash, but Akyong dodged like lightning and roared, Leave the great sword to me. The beast-eared girl named An, watching from outside, couldn't help but speak up. The armpits and neck of the lake human are the softest parts and also the most vulnerable. Master, attack these 2 weak points. Akyong instantly adjusted his position for an accurate run-up, nodding just right in front of me. He leapt up and slashed a sharp sword strike straight into the boss's armpit. Blood sprayed like a fountain. It screamed in pain, staggering into a weakened state. The system immediately announced double damage on a weak point attack. Your weak point attack was perfect, causing the enemy to become intimidated. During this time, the enemy's attack power and morale will drop sharply, making it easier to attack. Duration is 15 seconds. Akyong smirked, thinking, So this is effective too. What a surprise. With fiery spirit, he shouted, Since you're weak, I'll take your life now. The beast-eared girl quickly reminded her master that an enemy in this state attacks chaotically, but with more predictable moves. To avoid injury, judge and dodge carefully, then wait for the best opportunity. Akyong nodded eagerly. Oh, that's right. Thanks for reminding me. Instead of rushing in to attack, Akyong switched to defense. He skillfully dodged the wild slashes of the boss who had lost his mind. He silently thought, luckily I have experience. If I were reckless now, I'd definitely be cut down by those chaotic blades. And so he patiently watched the boss grow tired, its heavy breathing slowing down. Akyong squinted, realizing the opportunity had come. Akyong charged in with a thunderous shout. Tired already? Then it's my turn. The beast-eared girl named An reminded her master now's the time to target its weak spot at the neck. Akyong immediately activated his strongest body mode. The system announced, "You have focused 60% of your physical strength into your arm, unleashing 200% of your power." He gathered all his strength, leapt high, and shouted, "This is my target!" His fiery sword plunged straight into the neck of the Dark Demon Lake Beast boss. It screamed in pain, blood spraying everywhere, staggering into a debilitated state. The system immediately sounded a critical hit on the weak point, tripling the damage. A super violent, perfect weak point attack. Your strike caused massive damage, leaving the enemy debilitated for a while. Duration is 15 seconds. The beast-eared girl outside kept cheering. "Amazing master, the closer you get to victory, the more you can't afford to be careless. Use the safest method," she thought silently. "Even though this battle with the Lake Demon boss is low level, my blood is boiling facing the master." That name Kwong, that name is really great. He leapt again, eyes cold whispering as he used the finishing skill. "Let's end this battle with an earth-shattering final blow." The final strike exploded with terrifying power, completely finishing off the boss. The beast-eared girl cheered excitedly. Amazing Master Kwong smiled quietly, feeling satisfied. This was truly an exciting battle. But when he glanced down at the scrolls in his hand, he was startled and cursed himself for almost forgetting to use the scrolls before the rewards were settled. He quickly activated 3 scrolls to increase loot drop rates. The system announced, "You have used 3 loot drop rate scrolls. The drop rate for all items has increased to 96% for 1 minute." He cheered excitedly. "Finally, I did it." A series of system notifications rang out continuously, congratulating you for killing the level 7 Dark Demon Lake Beast boss. "Congratulations, you earned 3,000 experience points. Current experience 5,430 out of 6,000. "Congratulations, you received the Dark Demon Lake Radiant weapon." Kwong's eyes widened in disbelief at the treasure in the beast-eared girl's cute little backpack. Oh my God, there really is everything in her little backpack.